Hello everyone and welcome back to another Luke Theme Park Thrills YouTube video where today I'm going to be doing another ranking video, and this time I'm going to be ranking my top 8 roller coasters at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Now you may be thinking there's 10 roller coasters at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, why only rank it 8? Well, I haven't actually been on the Big Dipper or Revolution, so hopefully I'll get them 2 creds next time I visit Blackpool Pleasure Beach, hopefully later on this year. But let's get straight into it. Number 8, I have got Blue Flyer. Now, Blue Flyer opened back in 1934. It's one of the older coasters at the park, and it is just a kiddie coaster located in Nickelodeon land. Now, it is the small blue coaster, hence the name Blue Flyer, and it is a very odd coaster. Very short as well. You have one drop and a few hills, and you go into the tunnel of the old Space Station Zero roller coaster. Space Invader roller coaster, sorry. You only get one lap on Blue Flyer, and it has a duration of only 1 minute and a length of 1,099 foot. It's a very short roller coaster, and it's just not for my target audience. It's a very short coaster. It's a very family-friendly, well, kid-friendly roller coaster, and that's why it's ranked at number 8. And number 7, we have got Steeple Chase. Now, this coaster, or coasters, is a 3-coaster track, meaning there are 3 different coasters. I count them as 3 different credits. You can count them as 1 or 3. It's up to you. But this coaster opened back in 1977. Now, it's the horse roller coaster, and I don't have any stats to this on Roller Coaster Database. There's no stats about it, so I'm just going to talk about the ride experience. So they obviously had the red, yellow, and green track, and I've been on all 3. I've got all 3 creds, and it is pretty uncomfortable. You are sat on a literal horse, and you have a seatbelt. There's no other restraints. You have to take your bags on the roller coaster with you. It's perfectly safe. It doesn't have any high-speed turns or any big drops. I actually do believe it is the slowest roller coaster at the park, even slower than Blue Flyer. But yeah, Steeple Chase is pretty uncomfortable. It's an okay ride length. It has 2 halves, we're split into 2 different lift hills, and you get some good interaction with Nickelodeon Streak, and Icon, and Big Dipper. But that is Steeple Chase, that's all I've got for you, unfortunately. Next up, might come as a surprise to you, it might not, but it's number 6, and it's Infusion. Now, this roller coaster originally opened back in 1999 at Southport Pleasureland as Traumatizer. It had a red and teal colour scheme, and then in 2006, the Pleasure Beach owners and Southport Pleasureland owners bought Infusion and put it on where it is located today, where the old log flume was near Big Dipper. Now, that opened in 2007 under the name of Infusion, and it stayed at the park since then. Got a length of 2,260 foot and a height of 109 foot. Pretty tall coaster for Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's got a speed of just under 50 miles per hour, and it has 5 pretty rough inversions: a rollover, a sidewinder, and a double inline twist. Now, if you watch my Blackpool Pleasure Beach vlog from August of last year, you will know Infusion was a pretty bad coaster in my opinion. I've only had one ride on it ever, and that was on the back row. It was awful. I loved the first drop. And the first inversion of the rollover was pretty good, and then it went downhill from there. The second half of the rollover was awful, the sidewinder was rough, the helix turn, and then the double inline twist was atrocious. It's got a duration of 1 minute and 23 seconds of pure pain, and I really would love to see Infusion go. It's a pretty big plot of land. You can put all sorts of different roller coasters there, but Infusion is just not for me, in my opinion. At number 5, we've got another rough coaster, is the Grand National. Now, this opened back in 1935. It's a Mobius loop roller coaster, which means you leave one station and enter the other station. It's a pretty long length of 3,302 foot and a height of 62 foot. Now, at the top of the lift hill, you do get some good views over Blackpool. Obviously, the Blackpool Tower and Bloomfield Road, the Blackpool Football Club Stadium, if you're not a big football fan like I am. It got a speed of 40 miles per hour and a duration of 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, this coaster, just like Steeple Chase, can have 1 or more creds, depending on what you believe in. I think with the Grand National, it is only classed as one credit, but some people like to class it as 2 credits. It just depends on what your feeling like. Now, the Grand National is a rough coaster, and a lot of people do think it is a rough coaster, but I actually found it was quite funny, and I was just sat on the Grand National, and I just laughed the whole way through because of how rough it was. I know that sounded weird, but it was pretty fun, to be honest. The Grand National was. But yeah, it is a pretty rough coaster, and it is a grade 2 listed building, so they actually can't knock it down unless it is unsafe. It's a pretty classic roller coaster. Next up, then, we at number 4, we have Avalanche, the Mack bobsled coaster, which opened back in 1988. Once again, like the Grand National and Infusion, only we've done this once, and I got a front row. I absolutely love the views on the front row, the big one in Revolution. But then it all went downhill from there. It's a very rough coaster, in my opinion, even on the front row, and the restraint really tightens throughout the duration of the ride. The 1 minute and 22-second duration has a length of 1,490 foot. It's a pretty short coaster. I could definitely see why it could be a fun coaster, but in my opinion, it was just really rough on my experience. The restraint really did tighten. Got a few twists and turns and a few helixes to the end of the layout. And that's pretty much it for Avalanche. It is a pretty short coaster, in my opinion. And yeah, that's why it's ranked at number 4. We're going to move on to number 3. The other roller coaster in Nickelodeon land is Nickelodeon Streak. Now, this coaster used to be called the Red Velvet Coaster, and it opened back in 1933. It has a length of 2,293 foot, a height of 61 foot, and a speed of 35 miles per hour. Now, the Nickelodeon Streak, I do love the views of Blackpool Tower like on Grand National. It's got a few decent drops. It's just an old classic coaster. It's a big step up from the Blue Flyer, and it just works your way into the other coasters at the park. It's got a duration of 1 minute and 44 seconds. No inversions or anything. It's just a family wooden roller coaster, but it is good fun, and it's definitely my favourite wooden roller coaster at the park. Bearing in mind, I haven't ridden Big Dipper, which opened back in 1923. Moving on to the top 2 then. Pretty short video this. And at number 2, we have the big one. Now, I absolutely love the big one. It opened back in 1944 as the world's tallest and fastest roller coaster, but that did have its dethroned back in 1996. Got a length of 5,497 foot. It's a very long coaster. Height of 213 foot with a drop of 205 foot. It's a great drop on the front and back row. The twist of that drop, fantastic. Got a duration of 3 minutes. It's a very long ride. Features no inversion. It is classed as a monorail by most enthusiasts because of the various airtime hills. I wouldn't even say airtime hills, just hills. Very triangle pointed. You don't get any airtime at all, and it is a pretty rough coaster. And the turnaround over the entrance is quite fun, and then literally just more hills into the mid-course brake run, which is quite rough, into a very slow helix, and then you make your way into the tunnel, and that is a pretty rough but fun part of the coaster as well. And yeah, that's pretty much the big one. It's just drop, hill, turn, hill, 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 mid-course brake run, helix, hill, tunnel, and into the final brake run. That is literally the big one for you. And but it is a classic in the UK, and I would say Europe. I might even go and stretch it out to worldwide. It's a famous roller coaster. Everyone knows the big one, surely. And but that is why it's number 2, because it is a bit rough. And there's one coaster better than the big one. And at number 1, we have Icon. Now, Icon opened back in 2018. It's the newest roller coaster at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and it is the UK's first double launch roller coaster. It does obviously feature the two launches. Got a length of 3,750 foot. It's a pretty long coaster. Top height of 88 foot and a speed of 52.8 miles per hour. And with the Mack coasters, the Mack launches, you don't really feel that speed as you do on the Intamin hydraulic launch coasters such as Reset Alton Towers and Stealth down Thorpe Park. I do love Icon. It's more stylized, like Hyperia, than the heavy theming. But that's like a natural thing at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It is an amusement park and not a theme park. Now, this is where it gets a bit controversial. Now, on Roller Coaster Database, it is stated to feature only one inversion, the inline twist. Now, me personally, I think after the second launch, you enter the Junior Immelman which is the second inversion in my opinion. Put your thoughts in the comments down below if you think Icon has 1 or 2 inversions. Got a duration of 2 minutes and 41 seconds. It's a pretty long coaster, packed full of airtime, twists, turns, inversions. It's just a package. I absolutely adore Icon. It was my second favourite roller coaster when I rode it back in August. Has dropped down now to 4th, but I absolutely love Nemesis Reborn, Hyperia, and Stealth. Got a G-force of 4.3, which is pretty intense, especially for a mat coaster. And yeah, I do prefer the second launch over the first launch. You really feel that on the front and back row. And it features some amazing airtime moments, some of the best airtime moments in the UK, in my opinion. I absolutely adore Icon, and I can't wait to ride it this year again in 2025. Can't wait to get back to Blackpool Leisure Beach. I absolutely adore that theme park, what amusement park I do. But that is the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. Go follow my Instagram at LukeThemeParkThrills. I've been Luke. Goodbye.